Good morning. Good morning. If you or someone that you know has a credit card, okay, they need to know what's going on right now. Okay, watch this.
Those of you with credit cards, we have a warning about a new scam tonight.
Yet another one. Six on your side consumer reporter Don Dare talked with a Knoxville woman who was told she's eligible, Don, for a special interest-free program.
Yeah, that's right, Lori. Naomi Prater says it sounded good at first until the details were revealed. The caller claimed Mrs. Prater won't have to worry about any interest charges on her existing credit card balances ever. Sounds like a good deal. That was because she's a senior. Well, once on the phone with the scammers, she was transferred from one person to another.
They're not sending text messages
United
anymore.
States. The caller ID in Naomi Prater's phone caught her attention.
So I answered it because I thought, this must be an important call. And they said, you live in Knoxville, Tennessee, don't you? And I said, yes. And they said, well, someone is trying to open up a credit card in your name.
She says the guy on the phone, a mild-mannered Stephen Marshall, claimed it's a MasterCard.
Someone was trying to open up a $2,000 credit card in my name in North Carolina. He said, you don't live in North Carolina, do you? And I said, no. And I said, I don't know how they could do that. Well, let me transfer you. So they transferred me over to a woman.
The scammers now had Naomi's attention of someone trying to open up an account in her name. A new voice took over next.
She said, yeah, we see that, it's someone's trying to open up some credit. That's not you, is it? And I said, no, it's not me. Well, let me transfer you over to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So then this Erica Griffin came on.
Erica would be the third voice to speak.
Now they adding
She
people
said,
to the call.
The way they got your credit was through Amazon, where they had a credit breach last year.
The most recent Amazon data breach occurred not last year, but in October of 2021, when a hacker leaked data pertaining to Twitch, a streaming platform owned by Amazon.
She told me my social security number. She told me my date of birth, my home address,
Wow.
my every credit card I had.
Naomi says Erica told her she could see outstanding balances with hefty interest rates on her cards.
You get all your credit cards out, and I will take care of them because Senior Citizens has this new thing that senior citizens don't have to pay interest on anything. I said, I never heard of it. And she said, I need the numbers off of all of your credit cards so that I can take care of it. And she kept talking, and then she said, well, I need your credit card numbers so that I can wipe out your interest on all of them. I said, no, I don't think so. This is a scam. Then she got a little upset and said, it is not. I am trying to help you.
Sure, she wants to get your information.
And
Absolutely.
I said, you're not getting any more information. Forget it. She hung up on me.
The Federal Trade Commission says scammers may gain your personal information through data breaches.
This is how they get it,
The
guys.
information would include email addresses, phone numbers, and order details. Scammers can use all sorts of tricks to figure out which bank you use through social media messages or internet activity. Naomi disconnected the call just in time.
Don't give them any info. Don't give them any info on anything. And just say, you are scamming me, and hang up.
All right, guys. So here's the deal. As we know, a lot of people, there's been a lot of scams going on as we've been keeping you all updated. But the reason how this one is a little different, usually you get the text message and then they make the phone call. But this time they already have some of your information just from the data breaches and things like that that are most definitely going on. So we most definitely want to make sure that everybody knows what is going on and how we can, of course, protect ourselves. So let me know your thoughts inside the comment section below. Okay. Now, as we know, banks can't stop any of this stuff, right? They can't stop this stuff from happening. However, you have to know that everything is not going to be the same. You may not get a text message. You may get the phone directly. They may make it seem like it's legit if they are transferring the call to other people. So do not fall for it. Some people said don't answer the phone. Some people said, obviously don't open up the text, but in this case, it was not one. Okay. Now, here's some things you need to know right now. Okay. For those who are just joining us, there's a new scam targeting people, and this is targeting anyone with a credit card. All right. A Knoxville woman was almost scammed by a caller who claimed that she was eligible for an interest free program. All right. The scammer asks for her social security number, all right, the date of birth, home address, and all of her credit card information. Okay. So obviously, once someone starts asking for this type of information, we know that we don't have to give this information. Okay. That's when you know the call is going in a different direction. But the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, says that scammers may have already gained your personal information through a data breach. And these data breaches are happening all the time. We know about it. Now, this is what you need to do to protect yourself. Pay attention to this. To protect yourself from credit card scams, never give sensitive information over the phone. We hear this, but so many times, let me tell you something, I almost fell for something. Like I said, we had we had, of course, some things we were doing on social media, and essentially it was a new page, and we added a new page, but we got a message saying that, hey, the admin rights or something like that was not connected properly, which we were really having an issue with this. We were really having a real issue with this, but it was like a week ago, and so for it to spin back around, I almost fell for that. So they're hitting a lot of people different ways. So if you have a credit card, typically the things we've seen prior to that we've already talked about this year was if you had a bank account with a certain bank, or if you had a debit card or credit card using the shimmers, right, that they were talking about. Now this is anyone. So anyone with a credit card will be of course they can fall for this essentially. So anyone that has a credit card can most definitely be scammed this way. Okay. So don't give any sensitive information over the phone. If you think your card has been compromised, here's what you need to do. Freeze your account and notify your credit card issuer, the bank, immediately. Okay. Because as we know, nearly $9 billion was lost by consumers due to credit card fraud just in 2022 alone. All right. Now, we also get people to ask us, can we help you with your credit? We most definitely can. If you're looking to improve your credit score, qualify for homeownership, or even lower your monthly car payment, we can help you, just like we've helped all these people you see right here on your screen. Go ahead and scan that QR code to learn more about what we can do to help you. Also, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right. Let's get into the comments, guys. What do you guys think about this? Our Lake is in the house all the way from California. And Judy, she says, oh my God. Right. And listen, it's crazy because that this happens so often. And we don't get me wrong, we know crimes happen often, but usually it's like, man, when it's just, and let me tell you something, people are looking to lower their interest rates on credit cards. So it's not an uncommon situation. A lot of people have credit card debt, and they're looking for a lot of ways to save money on this stuff. So it's not like it doesn't make sense, right? I don't know. We all know it's got to make sense, right? So we don't want to make it seem like it doesn't make sense. All right. So Volvo to Love is in the house. Appreciate you being here. Sunny Towns is in the house as well. Oriel, all the way from Florida, is in the house today. All right. So make sure you guys let people know about this information, and not just this information, but let people know if they have credit cards. Just be on the lookout for stuff, man. Just be on the lookout for stuff. It takes a couple seconds to let people know. You don't necessarily have to share this video. You can if you want to, but just make sure we get the word out here. Okay, it's us versus them. It's us versus them. Which, by the way, I've seen a slight increase. Well, I'm not even gonna go that deep into it, but I've been noticing just an increase in scams overall. And you can't, to me, I just can't see myself like seeing that information and not telling you all about it. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to always talk about personal credit, business credit, everything that has to do with credit and banks. But we need to know what's going on so our money is protected, right? We have our credit scores, we have our incomes, we have our goals, but we need to make sure that everything is protected, because that's the whole point of doing all this. Right. Gabby says, what about Synchrony Bank taking your high credit limits, $9,000, and you pay off the loan and they drop your credit limit to $300? Let's talk about that. So what I've noticed with Synchrony Bank is they have a lot of lines of credit with retail companies, retail banks, right? So usually you have to buy something. So unfortunately, a lot of these companies, what I've been seeing lately, and by the way, they've been doing this well before credit card debt got as high as it has gotten right now. But watch where I'm going. Anytime you have credit card debt, I want everyone to listen to this. Anytime you have credit, well, I won't say credit card debt necessarily, but anytime you have a credit card with a retail company where you typically would have to buy something like Lowe's, Home Depot, Victoria's Secret, whatever, right? It may not necessarily be with Synchrony Bank, and that won't matter. But anytime you have a credit card with a retail company and you don't use the card a certain amount of times per year, look at your card agreement. I know a lot of us just, we apply for the credit card, we get approved, we use it, we pay it on time, and that's pretty much it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of these credit card companies do not like when you're not using their credit. Okay. Also, too, credit card debt is kind of high. So that's two reasons. One, you're not using what I'm giving you. You're not using what I'm giving you. Also, let me know inside the comments if banks have lowered your credit card limits. We're going to talk about that. We had someone send us a message, one of our members, and they sent us a message and they said, hey, the bank has just lowered my credit card limits on 2 of my credit cards. Let us know inside the comments, guys. I think this needs to be a whole nother video because credit card debt is so high right now. Companies are dropping limits. So we'll talk about that in another segment because I want to make sure I get everything together on that and make sure it makes sense. But saying that to say, if you're not using it, that's number one. And then number 2 is because debts are real high right now and they don't want to take a chance. So they're lowering a lot of people's limits. And here's the worst part. Don't forget, guys, number 3, this is the worst part. Anytime they lower your limits, that lowers your utilization. I think we talked about this in a comment in another video. But anytime they lower your limits, that lowers your utilization. That's going to increase your utilization because it's balance divided by the limit. If your balance is $300 and your limit is $3,000, that's 10%, right? That's 10%. So it's not a lot. 300, 3,000 that's 10%. So, but if your balance is 300 and your limit is 500, now we're looking at what, 60%? So again, this is not making, you have to be on top of this stuff, guys. You have to be on top of this stuff. All right. Anyway, but that's what I think about that as well. Sonny says, question, what is a data breach? So a data breach is essentially when a company, any company, oh my God, man, if you Google data breaches, you'll see there's so much stuff that gets taken on a daily basis. Someone just recently sent out an email about a data breach. I think it was Home Depot or it was someone, but it's essentially when these companies get their information taken. And let me tell you all something. They hold these, just so you guys know, because this is the part that doesn't make it to the news. Watch this. A lot of times when these companies have data breaches, they get phone calls from the people, from the scammers, and they say, hey, we will give you back the data for X number. So that happened recently to a lot of these companies too. Like they exposed, I don't know if you guys remember this a while back. I forgot. It was one of those dating sites. And it was some people that was using the dating sites that was essentially married, and they should have been using the dating sites. They essentially was trying to, either way. And they was like, hey, we will expose your information if you don't pay us. Okay. So this stuff happens. So instead of doing ransom, they'd rather just do it this way. But I got some other stuff as well, too. We got an update on Chase Bank coming in tomorrow. So make sure you guys are ready for that update on Chase Bank on tomorrow. So it's not necessarily, I won't say it's an update, but more so something that happened with someone at Chase Bank. I'll put it to you like that. Okay. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. But that's essentially what a data breach is when these companies get their information, your information. So whether it's Comcast, whether it's Verizon, any bill that you pay, any company that you do business with, and they get their information stolen from these scammers. So the companies get the information stolen first. That's how they have the information. Okay. Then they go from there. All right. Tammy says, yes, but now it's 30%. Exactly. And so that's exactly how it affects. That's how it affects, the utilization. So thanks for mentioning that as well. Blue Butterflies from New Jersey. New Jersey's in the house. Grinding for the bag. Happy Sunday to you too as well, sir. Collaborating voices. Appreciate you being here. Gabby says all the way from California. Appreciate you guys, California, man. Y'all be waking up a little early. Greatly appreciate it as well. Susan says, credit cards can and will lower your limit to limit their risk. Absolutely. 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 All right. Grindin says, man, I got to join this brother's community. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and mention it as well. We do have a credit community. So if you guys are looking, listen, I don't care what your age is. I don't care what your race is. I don't care where you live. You got to be at least in the United States. Okay. I'm sorry. I won't say living in the United States, but you have, this is for your United States credit score. Because some of you guys are out of the country, things of that sort. But listen, if you got goals you still want to accomplish, home ownership, lowering your car payment, buying a car, leasing a car, whatever you're trying to do, we can most definitely help you. Okay. We have weekly live Q&As. You can also send me a direct DM. We have our home buyer challenge. We're going back to a weekly home buyer challenge call, guys. Everyone, we got to make sure everybody's on pace, but you get a lot of great information. Either way, scan the QR code to learn more. All right, let's get back into the comments. Thomas says, I only keep high balances on business credit cards. Right. And so nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, especially if it's business credit cards that's not showing up on the personal. R. Lake says, even the credit bureaus get data breaches. Absolutely. Here, we want to make sure that everybody's clear on this. The reason why banks can't stop this type of stuff is because there is no stopping it. No one can really stop it. It's at a point where it's unstoppable. It's just a matter of they're about 70 to 80% in. They got your information. They know what they need to do, right? And then they need you to bring them to the finish line. A lot of times they don't even need you. Keep an eye on your balances. You have to check your debit card balances, guys, especially accounts that you guys don't move too much. Like my wife and I, we have quite a few accounts. And there's an account that we just don't use as much, but we always kind of just put money in there. Watch those accounts, guys. Watch those accounts. They use simple stuff like Amazon. We all use Amazon, right? And you know why they use Amazon? For two reasons. Number one, Amazon is something that everybody uses. And I know a lot of you all use Amazon. There's nothing wrong with using Amazon. But because they know you should use it like every now and then, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, I did buy something from Amazon, and then just disregard it. And it's usually $10, $15, $20, $30, whatever, right? The second reason they use Amazon, this is sinister. This is criminal. Watch this. Because when you go to dispute, when you call your bank to dispute something, they say, have you seen this? Have you done business with Amazon recently? Now you have to say yes. You say yes. And they say, are you sure that this was not your transaction with Amazon? And sometimes it'll confuse certain people, right? So again, that's why they do this. So any accounts you have that you don't pay that much attention to, start checking it at least once a week, guys. At least once a week. And your main accounts, obviously, daily. This stuff happens on the regular, guys. Gabby says, this happened to me with nothing late, and would that affect your credit score? Let me see here, Gabby. I want to make sure I understand. So, which part has happened to you? Them lowering the utilization? I'm sorry, them lowering your credit card limits, or this particular scam? Let us know, Gabby. So, I want to make sure I get your question answered correctly. Denise says AT&T just went through the data breach. That's who it was. Thanks, Denise. It was AT&T that just had a data breach. This is not just stuff that we just say. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing we can do about it. But if you're doing business with AT&T, or if you've done business in the past with AT&T, those are types of things you keep an eye on. You need to know and be on top of this stuff, because that way okay, I'm doing business right now with AT&T, or I've done business in the past with AT&T. They just had a data breach. That means let me look out for a crazy phone call. Let me look out for a random text message. Don't open this stuff, guys. Listen, if you have an Android, you can just delete the message. But I don't know if they have it where you can delete and report junk like iPhone. Either way, but with the iPhone, you don't even have to open up the message, right? So like my son, either way, you get a message, and let's say you want to delete it, right? And then you just delete it, and then now you have the option to delete or report junk. So you don't even have to open up the text messages, guys. I'm just saying that to say there's ways that we can kind of keep this stuff from happening. I know it's difficult not to answer a phone, but here, I will say this. And most of the people that need to talk to you will leave a voicemail. Am I the only one that if you get a phone call from an unknown number or a number that you don't know, I won't say unknown because we ain't answering those. Don't y'all be answering these unknown phone calls. We learned that back in the day. These kids don't know nothing about *67, *69. They don't know nothing about all that. Anyway, my point is that if you get a phone call from a number that you don't know, don't listen. You better text me after that, or you better leave me a voicemail. Y'all need to add that list to the stuff y'all be doing, okay? Next, Sonny says, yes, that's where my email came in from. Wow. See? Absolutely. So we want to make sure we stay on top of this stuff, man. Susan says, I use a virtual card whenever possible when shopping online. Very smart. I like that. Someone else had brought that up before, too, in the past. Using a virtual debit card. Okay, some of your credit card companies give you virtual debit cards. Some of your banks give you a virtual debit card. Or you guys can just buy one of those little, green dot cards too if you want to. So again, that's if you want to do that. Okay. So Inappropriate says, which banks are sensitive to carrying a balance even on a 0% APR intro rate? You know what? I don't know if it's necessarily banks. I think it's more so the economic climate. Usually banks just don't be dropping balance, limits and things of that sort. But guys, I'm telling you, if you have a credit card, just look for bills that you pay for on a regular basis and put those bills on your credit card and put it on auto pay. If it's your phone bill, your cell phone bill, you're going to pay that every month. And if as long as that cell phone bill is still around 10%, okay, you want to be ideally 7 to 10% of the limit. So for example, if your limit is $2,000 and your cell phone bill is $200, just throwing random numbers out there, that's 10%. So that's a bill I would put on my credit card for auto pay. Why would I do auto pay? That way, it's a bill I'm already used to. I pay it every single month, and I'm not forcing myself to buy something. That's key. These are key things. And since it's on auto pay, I'm obviously not going to get any late payments. But you're going to get that. That's number 4. You're going to get that monthly usage that the banks are looking for. The banks are looking for usage. They understand. They don't want you to have credit card, a certain amount of credit card debt and not being able to pay them. But they also want to make sure that you are using their card. That doesn't change regardless of the economic climate, guys. So we want to make sure that we are using these cards, okay? All right. Next, Susan says, lots of Apple charges are fraud too. I work at a major bank. Oh, Susan, you got to email us. We got to interview Susan. You done messed up. No, I'm kidding. That's what happened to Star. Y'all remember Star. She's doing amazingly well on her channel. But Susan, here, send us an email when you can. I want to pick your brain on some stuff. We need to have a conversation and see if we can get an interview going because we need to know this stuff that's happening behind the scenes, if you don't mind, Susan. But anyway, so Denise says, you're welcome. Absolutely. Appreciate you being here as well. Arlake says, use the tap feature on your cards. Listen, Arlake be giving y'all the tips. Y'all better stop swiping on his card. Listen, tap when you can, guys. Now, don't get me wrong. This does not erase all risk, but it reduces it big time. Remember, I told you all about the shimming. Now, credit card skimming has been out for a very long time, but now they're shimming. So it's a little bit different. That's where they put the thing inside. The skimmer was something they put the cover on, so it made it a little bit bulky. But the shimmer is all the way inside. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because it's starting to spread. I told y'all this. It's starting to spread. All right. So Mojo says, I have AT&T and started getting these spam calls and text messages. Wow. See, this just happened too. This just happened. I'm not tied to my cell numbers and emails, so I just changed my email and phone numbers. But I know my situation is a one-off situation. Now, listen, that's the whole point. Look at the timing of this, guys. We had the AT&T data breach, and now he's like, listen. So Mojo says, listen, I'm not tied to these email addresses. I'm not tied to this phone number. I feel you there. Just trying to reduce it any way we can. Gabby says, yes, lower my credit limit. Excellent. Okay, there we go. Excellent payer, no late fees. And when the credit limit is decreased, would this lower your score? Very good question. Very good question. So it depends if you have balances on your other credit cards. So your credit score looks at 2 different types of utilization. You have individual utilization, and then you have group utilization. This is something, listen, y'all not going to learn this stuff on every single channel. I'm telling you. Now, individual utilization is when we're talking about just the credit card itself. Let's say you have 5 credit cards. 4 out of the 5 credit cards have no balances. Just watch where I'm going. One of the credit cards has a balance that's close to the limit. Let's just say it's maxed out. That particular credit card having the balance at the limit, completely maxed out, affects your credit score. If they lower that limit, let's say, for example, the balance is 2,000, the limit is 2,000. If they lower that limit from 2,000, let's say to 1,000, now your utilization is over 100%, which guess what? Watch this. Reduces your credit score. Okay. Now, what is helping that person? What is helping that person? I'll tell you what's helping that person. The fact that they have 4 other credit cards with no balances. Okay. So now you have a help and you have a hurt. The 4 credit cards are helping. They're helping, right? Because they don't have balances. That means they have a 0% utilization, which means the group utilization, that's where this comes in at, right? The group utilization is what are all balances divided by all limits. So your credit score is going to look at everything. Why do I explain it like that? Because let's say that person closed those 4 credit cards. Now you have 1 credit card, total balances divided by total limits, right? And then remember, they dropped that limit. So now that credit card is over. So a lot of times, watch this, guys, watch this. Another smooth way to increase your credit score when you have a maxed out credit card. Now, this is only if you know what you're doing. So this isn't for everybody. This is only if you know what you're doing. Watch this. You cannot get a limit increase. That's another way. That's another sneaky way to get a nice credit increase. I won't say a nice, but at least a credit increase is if your balance is close to your limit, or even if it's not close. It's just simply creating more separation between the balance and the limit. And that's by asking for a credit limit increase. But what happens if you ask for a credit limit increase, guys, and you're not able to get it? No worries. No worries. Some of you all are in a position where your balance is close to your limit, but your credit score is high enough to get another credit card. Okay. So let's say, for example, watch where I'm going, class. Let's say, for example, you got a $1,000 balance on your credit card. Your credit card limit is 1,000. That's 100% utilization. It's maxed out and it's hurting your credit score. You call the bank, you ask them for a credit limit increase. They say no. You say, oh my God, I'm still making payments on this. How can I improve my credit score quickly? Here's what you can do. You can get another credit card. When you get another credit card, you don't even have to use this one. Now your credit score is going to go up. Why is that? Because your group utilization is going to kick in. It's going to be 1,000 divided by 1,500 because you got $1,000 on the current card and you got $500. I'm giving y'all too much information. I'm giving y'all too much. Y'all listening to me? But anyway, you got that. Now it's 1,000 divided by 1,500. Now, is that going to increase your credit score? Yes, a little bit, because again, you still have 1,000 divided by 1,500, which is about, what's that, class? About 66%. So again, you need more separation. Okay, you need more separation. That's why the reverse can happen as well. If they drop the limits, okay, if they drop the limit, then you either have to bring that balance down, ask them for a credit limit increase, or obviously pay it off is an option, right? Go ahead and pay off the debt, right? Or of course, get another credit card. But the reason why you got to be hesitant on telling people to get another credit card is because everyone's has different debt habits, and I don't want to get you guys into any more additional debt. Hopefully that was helpful. If that was helpful, let me know inside the comments, guys. All right, let's keep going. Kelly is in the house. Appreciate you being here. Judy says that happened to me at Amazon. Somebody ordered tennis shoes on me, but Amazon called me and asked me, did I order all these tennis shoes? I said, no, ma'am. The lady says, no worries. And I said, I got it. And I said, thanks. See, that's how it's supposed to happen. That's how things are supposed to be. And let me tell you something. Listen, this is a real person, guys. Judy's in the house. She's real, right? Now watch this. Watch this. She says that Amazon reached out. So sometimes these companies will call you. They will call you. But here's the deal. If you're like, Calvin, I know some companies will call me, but I don't want to talk to them. That's fine. Don't answer. And just call them or send them an email if you don't trust it that way. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Judy. Kelly says, show me some love. Absolutely. Where you coming from, Kelly? Listen, let me know where y'all are watching from. We're going to be ending this. We're going to be wrapping this up soon. All right. But listen, I have no problem. I greatly appreciate you guys being here. Let me know what city and state you guys are watching from as well. Gabby says, and if they lower your credit card limit, would they allow you to increase your credit limit again? Very good question. Listen, Gabby got the best questions today. So check this out. you can always ask a credit card company, to give you a credit limit increase. I want you guys to understand something. Just because a company denies you today doesn't mean that they're going to deny you 30 days from now. Sometimes it's the economic climate. I'm saying that because in the type of climate we're in right now, a lot of banks, they know people are not going to pay cash for the car. There's some who can, and there's some who will, but a lot of people just can't. There are some people who could pay cash for a house. There's some people who will, and some people who can't. But a lot of people need to borrow, that they need to get a mortgage. Now, the difference is those are things that, a luxury, and I need to get to work, right? But a credit card is like, that really affects the economic climate because it's a lot of debt right now. I'm saying that to say, because that's going to affect the decision. Also, too, they want to see like, how are you doing as a person? Remember, credit scores are now starting to shift towards trended data. They're starting to look at what you've done in the last 3 months, 6 months. So more on that, like towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, we're going to start seeing how these scores are starting to change. But my point is, to answer your question, yes. If they decrease your limit, you can always ask for a credit limit increase. If they decline it, you can always ask for one in the future. And this is anytime you all get declined for something, you can always try again. Okay, this is not prom. This is not the girl. This is not the girl in school. This ain't the girl in college. We say, man, well, she declined me. You better go back 30 days later. Say, hey, listen, I know you didn't want to go out on a date with me 30 days ago. I'm back. Anything changed? Just another way of looking at it. All right. C Bill says your audio and video cuts out. Upgrade your Obama system. Listen, C Bill is always in here. Okay. And he always be trying to compare stuff to politics. We're not going to do that, C Bill. We're not going to do this. Okay. Let me know, guys, if it is that way. Okay. Oh, let me go back here. I'll put the link inside as well, too. So if you all are looking to get more information on our credit community, here, I'll put the link inside of the. Oh, wait. Stop sharing. Okay, hold on. There we go. Let me go back. Sorry, guys, I messed it all up. But here, I'm gonna put it inside of the link here if you guys are interested. But I don't want to slow everybody down. So give me 1 second here. I'll bring this back up. So you can either scan that QR code right there on your screen, all right, or I'm gonna put the link inside of there as well too. If you guys want to join the credit community, you most definitely can do so. Okay, so I'm gonna put that. It's also inside the description below, but I'll put it inside of the chat as well. Okay, so you can join the credit community, and we can help you accomplish your goals as well. Okay, so thanks for asking, Judy. Thanks for asking. Okay, next. Inappropriate says, does using a sock drawer card on the Amazon for $1 occasionally help with activity status? Wait, hold on. Using a sock drawer card. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a typo, but let me know for Amazon for $1 occasionally help with activity status. I think you mean does spending at least $1 on Amazon. So I think that's what you mean. I'm not sure. So let me know inside the comments if you're still here. But if you're talking about like just putting something small, like a small bill on your credit card and put it on auto pay, absolutely do your thing. All right. So Sledge says this is the reason that I don't worry about utilization. Individual credit cards report because I have so many credit cards and a lot of credit extended to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what Sledge is saying, shout out to Sledge as well, too, sir. Appreciate you being here. What Sledge is saying is that if you have like one credit card and it is maxed out, I won't say maxed out, but this higher, where balances are close to the limit. But if you have multiple credit cards, you're fine. Like if you got 10 credit cards and you're using 3, you're using 5, you're using 7, and all of those balances are close to the limit, it's not the end of the world. But again, we're talking about risk management. Risk management. So what is risk management, guys? Risk management means so I know for a fact that when Sled swipes his credit card, he has intentions on paying that balance within a certain time frame. So, but I'm not just him. A lot of people watching this right now have good risk management. They swipe for $1,000. They're going to pay that $1,000 off by X date. They have a date in which they're going to pay it off. It may be tomorrow. It may be next week. It may be next month, whenever that date is. But some of us swipe that credit card and say, man, I'm just going to pay this minimum payment until my taxes come or whatever you waiting on. Okay. You don't want to do that. That's some tough risk management, but be careful out here, guys. Be careful in these streets. Judy says, so I need to get another credit card. What card is a good credit card to get? You know, it really depends. It really depends on a lot of situations, to be totally honest with you. I would say everybody kind of starts off with the first cards, you know, Capital One, Credit One, First Premier, First Progress. But you want to make sure you're kind of going into the next tier. We need to do another tier video. You know, so it really just depends on the situation, what banks you're with. See, that's a great question for like being inside the community, because you can tell me what you already have, right? Some of you all mates, because I've met people, they have like 5, 6 credit cards, but they're all entry-level credit cards or level 1 type credit cards. When you're like ready for level 2, you're ready for level 3, right? Or sometimes it's like, hey, before we start applying for new cards, let's maximize what we have. All right, not max out. Keywords, maximize, which means asking the bank for a credit limit increase and things of that sort. But I need to know a little bit more about the situation. I don't know if you want to give that much information in here, Judy, but that's where the community comes in, because you can DM me directly. You can send me a private message, and it's a private conversation between you and I. Okay, so but that way, because I need to know what banks you're currently with, what your current limits are, and things of that sort. That will really help me. Okay, Judy says, of course, Houston, H-Town is in the house. Susan is in Orlando, Florida. Appreciate you being here. Gabby says, yes, very helpful as well. And I appreciate you guys. Listen, the comments really help, guys, not just for me, but there are people that are going through situations, and some of you all are dropping gems. Denise reminded us about AT&T. Then Mojo told us about him going through with AT&T. Then Gabby told us something, right? Then Judy told us something. So these comments really help, because people are going through the same thing, and they need to keep an eye on this stuff, okay? Sledge says, we need Calvin on Unfiltered, 20 questions with Sledge. Oh, man, let's do it. Listen, hey, yeah, bro, here, you got my email. Send me an email, and so I can know what those 20 questions are. But no, I've seen the interviews, and some of the interviews you've had about that as well, too. So keep me posted on that. We'll most definitely circle back for sure. Appreciate you being here, man. Inappropriate says, do you think the current climate improves a few months after the rate cuts began? Oh, absolutely. I'm going to be totally honest. No matter who wins the presidency, but only one person can win. But no matter who wins the presidency, they're going to have to move these rates anyway. And no matter who wins the presidency, they're going to take the credit for it. But in order to move this economy, they need this to move. They need this to happen. Okay, because people aren't borrowing the same, and it's costing too much. It's costing too much. And even though people are still buying, but when it's expensive, like I won't say like it is right now. Everyone's financial situation is a little bit different, but they have to cut these rates. And yes, it will be easier. So more credit limit increases, better stuff for obviously refinances, but the rate cuts in general most definitely is going to improve the economic climate. It's going to take a few months, but I will say that, listen, this may be as soon as September. Remember, we were supposed to have 5 to 6 rate cuts this year. We've gotten none so far. Okay, so they're probably not going to give us 5 to 6, but they're saying now they're at least putting dates back on stuff. So the last time Jerome Powell spoke, he says there are going to be some rate cuts potentially in September, which is obviously before the election. So that's going to be a huge boost for the American economy. So we'll most definitely keep you guys posted on that as well. All right. Turner Mitchell says, I agree to go back 30 days later and keep going back. You will not be denied. There you go. Absolutely. Listen, you guys got to keep trying. Okay. But you can't be the same person 30 days from now. Okay. You can't be a 500 credit score right now, get denied, and then a month from now, you a 505 and you apply again and get denied. And you say, I don't know why they just want to prove me, because you have not changed, sir. You have not changed, ma'am. You have to make a change. We have to make a change. We have to put action behind what we say. You have to watch. You have to educate yourself, people. We have to educate yourself. You cannot be. That's the problem. Too many people are lazy in learning. We cannot be lazy in learning. How much does it cost you to watch a YouTube video? Somebody put the answer in the comments. How much does it cost you to watch a YouTube video? Nothing. Nothing but your time. Now, we're not going to go into, because I know video may be easier to know than reading a book, right? But how much does it cost for a library card? It's $0 last time I checked. So the information is out there. We have to educate ourselves. We can't just wing it out here. We have to stop. We are too old to be winging it. Okay. I look at the channel stats. A lot of people that watch my channel, they're not in their 20s. They're in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s. Okay. We are too old to be winging it. Stop winging it. Okay. You have to start with, you have to know this information. You can't be naive. Now, you may say, well, Calvin, I already know about some of this stuff. Good. Good. Who have you told about this information? Or not even told, but what have you done to make sure it doesn't happen to you? Okay. So we got to stay on top of this type of stuff. Right. But just like Turner says, either way, my point in saying that piece was you have to be a different person. So if you apply for a credit card and you get denied, look to see, like, was your credit score too low? Was it your income? Was it the time on your job? Was it your current credit card debt? Right? All this stuff plays a role, guys. It most definitely plays a role. Our Lake says Discover will allow you to do it every 8 days. That's amazing. So what Our Lake just said is if you have a Discover credit card, you get denied for a credit limit increase. You could try again, guys, 8 days later. All right. So that's great information as well. To Grounded says, if I'm rebuilding my credit so far, I only have one credit card with a $500 limit with Navy Federal. That's a great start. But you need a few more accounts. Okay. Now, Grounded, you were supposed to have been in this community a long time ago, sir. I'm messing with you. But we need to build we need a few more accounts to kind of build that foundation. Okay. So make sure you take advantage of that as well. Denise says, what do you think about a cash out refinance or getting rid of your debt versus opening a HELOC? I like you know what? It really depends. I would say it really depends on the terms. I don't too much care about the money source. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If you have good credit, and I would say that's a lot of people say good credit is over like 750. I think we can go as low as 650. It's not the best score, I know, but you can at least get the approval with some decent rates. My point is that you all should be looking for better ways to try to, especially to pay off this debt. Because you can get, the rates are not the best right now, but when the rates come down, or if you're in a situation where it's like, man, I'm about to lose some stuff, you better take advantage of that before your credit score starts to change. Okay. But I would say it's nothing wrong with a cash out refinance. Just make sure that the numbers work out and make sure it's enough for you to get. You guys can also do this stuff too. Obviously the rates are better, obviously with a mortgage, but at the same time, or opening a HELOC, which is of course a home equity line of credit as well too. But just make sure that the terms make sense. Okay. Because some of these banks are changing some of these terms where they want a certain amount to be paid back in a certain period of time. So make sure that the terms make sense. But where you get the money from, the source, doesn't matter to me. Whatever you qualify for, I think that's a good situation. Judy says experience keeps telling me to get to get another credit card, but what good can another one? Can you tell me, please? Oh, well, getting another credit card in general may not necessarily be recommended. If you all have about 4 to 5 accounts, you'll be fine. But there's nothing wrong. Listen, we've interviewed people with 30 plus credit cards, 50 plus credit cards. Right. So, it's all about risk management. But having another card, just know this. Every time you get a new account, it affects your score because you're now playing around with your average age of accounts. So only get one if you need one. Right. Or if you feel like your limits are too low. Those are some general answers. I can't because what I don't want to do is like make it seem like I'm giving one answer and it's for everybody. But this is generalized information without having to know much about your profile. And that is, we know, let's not forget the basics. If we get a credit card, anytime we get any account, that's going to reset our average age of accounts. That's any account. So, but if you don't like your limits, if the banks aren't really giving you too many credit limit increases, or if you're ready for a new relationship with another bank, then I most definitely would recommend it. But if you guys are watching your scores like hawks and you need a certain score by a certain time, a credit card may not be a great addition right now. Just being honest. Okay. Gabby says, thank you. You're such a blessing. Listen, I greatly appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys are learning something. Y'all learning something tonight? Tonight. I'm always doing tonight. This morning. All right. David said, what's up, Sledge? Y'all know Sledge is in the house. Make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel. He's always talking about credit cards as well. One of the kings of credit cards. All right. Then it says, good information as always. Appreciate you being here, sir. Then it says, real talk. Yes, sir. R. Lake says, I pay my balances before the statement end. Great move. Credit card companies aren't getting my money. Listen, you right about that. Inappropriate says, yes, is $1 enough to keep a credit card open of lack of activity? Yes. Okay. I thought that's what you meant. Yeah, that's a very good question. A lot of people always ask that question. What, the amount that I spend on my credit card per month, does that play a role? Not necessarily itself. You know what? Let me rephrase that because I don't want you guys to think because there is too much of. There's no such thing as too less, but there is a such thing as too much. Okay. For example, if you have a credit card with a if you have a credit card that has a limit of $500, grinding for the bag, I hope you're still here, sir. Hope you're watching this. This is a gem for you, okay? If you have a credit card that has a $500 limit, how much do you want to spend on that credit card without affecting your credit score? If the credit card has a $500 limit, that would be $50 or less. So there is a such thing as too much, but there is no such thing as too less. Okay. You all can have Disney Plus for $7 a month. Put it on auto pay. And that's enough usage to keep the credit card open. You know how many people don't do that? Huge. All right. Judy says, experience keeps telling me to get another credit card, but what credit card is good to get? Any of the big names is good. Discover, Navy Federal, if you're with them, of course. Bank of America is fine. Citibank, I already said Discover, Chase Bank, of course. PenFed, a lot of these great, but you got to build relationships with them. If the relationship's not built, you're gonna get low limits. To be totally honest with you, or if the score is not high enough. Yeah, that's what I would say. Sonny says Capital One. Yeah, nothing wrong with Capital One. A lot of people start off with Capital One. We know about the bucketing system. Short version is Capital One looks at who you are right now, and that your profile kind of stays the same with them a little bit over time. Now, I don't think that's the case with everybody, but that seems to be a case with majority of everybody. So keep that in mind. All right. Judy says will do. Dennis says Las Vegas is in the building. See, I need to know where y'all be at. That way, when I'm in the area, I'm gonna start letting you guys know if I'm in the area a little bit, and I'll let you guys know for sure. All right. But anyway, Panama City, Florida's in the house. Is Credit One a good credit card? Whoa! So here's the deal. Credit One is not a horrible credit card. Credit One is actually not a bad credit card. They just got fees. They just got fees. And until they get rid of these fees, which they haven't in years, that's what makes them, I won't say a bad credit card, but that's what makes them, what's the best way to say this? A non-recommended credit card. Okay. Depending on the situation, though. I remember I've had clients where, for example, if you're watching this video, you've had First Premier, you've had First Progress, you've had Capital One. Notice I didn't say Credit One. If you've had all those companies but Credit One, and now you're in the rebuilding stages, guess who's going to come knocking on your door? Credit One Bank. And in that case, I would say I'll be open to it. But that was like years ago. Now with so many credit builders and a lot of different ways to build credit nowadays, you don't really have to go that route. Another thing too, guys, if you messed up, another thing a lot of people forget, if you've messed up a relationship with the credit card company, a lot of you all just forget about that relationship. You can easily reach back out to them. Just pay them. Listen, here's the deal. I know you want me to tell you not to pay somebody and then just get it removed off your credit report. That's not on this channel. Let them other channels send you off. Not me. You can easily just pay these companies, guys. You can have a credit card with Chase Bank right now, Discover card right now, right? Maxed out. It's charged off. It's years old. It's still in your credit report. You can call them, settle it out, and they will give you another opportunity to apply to do business with them again in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It happened to me. Back in college, I had a card with Chase Bank. I had an auto loan that got repossessed. Guys, people make mistakes, man. It happens. It happens. My point is that eventually those same companies gave me a high limit credit card and multiple high limit credit cards, by the way, and not bragging or boasting. I want you guys to understand that you could be at the bottom of the barrel. Age has nothing to do with this. Age has nothing to do with this. You can be in your 60s and have a charge off, make an arrangement with them and rebuild that relationship with them. Or even if you're super petty, like if you petty Eddie, you petty Betty, and you say, listen, I owed them money. I refuse to pay them. They'll still give you another opportunity. You can have a repossession with Chase Bank, wait 7 to 10 years, and they'll give you another opportunity. Crazy. These banks are insane, right? Or if you pay them sooner, you can do business with them later. I'm just saying a lot of this stuff is just, a lot of it is just people don't want to do certain things, and that's what drags out the process. But if you do it right, man, you can build these relationships a lot faster. All right. David says, do you do phone consultations? Yes, I do. I'll put that link inside of here as well. So if you guys are looking for like a custom, like I mentioned, is a custom game plan. So yeah, listen, I can look at your credit report, and if you want to have a Zoom call during that time, we can do that as well. So I just put that link in there as well too. Okay. Ine says, "What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate you being here." Dennis says, "Calvin, I appreciate all that you do. Keep on keeping on." Yes, sir. Appreciate you being here, sir. Judy says, "I have a Capital One and a bank card, 2 department stores." Yeah, it's most definitely. I would consider another credit card with one of those banks I had mentioned earlier as well too. Okay, I would do that. But make sure your scores are in the high 6s, in the 7s, so you can at least increase your chances for an approval. Just kind of based on that small information is the best I can say. Okay. Sonny says nothing. All right. Dennis says absolutely. Susan says preach. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what I remember that. Now I'm keeping up with the comments. Okay. But yes, that's what that would be. Okay. Blue Butterfly says facts as well. Captain Al says up to 164,000 between Citibank, Amex, Discover, the flagship, and so on. Next round should be about 250K. Great job to you, sir. Constantly watching the channel, getting the gems, and applying the information as well, and sharing the progress too. Greatly appreciate that as well too. Gabby says, "Nothing if you don't invest in yourself, you are lost." That's right. Absolutely, guys. It costs us nothing. All right. But be teachable, and surround yourself around eagles, not turkeys. Listen, Gabby out here. We at church now. Okay. We're gonna let Pastor Gabby over here. For real, okay? Surround yourself with eagles and not turkeys. Mount your wings and soar. We can do anything. I'm on board with this young man. Appreciate you being here, Gabby, and dropping the gems per usual. Judy says, "I educate myself more than ever. Now, concerning me, very more important to stay on top." That's right. That's right. Okay. She says, "I'll not get one. I'm good right now. Thanks." Okay, good. Okay, good. All right. So now Ron says, "Hey, Cal, I'm in the market for a new car. I haven't had a car loan in a few years. After paying off my last car loan, it's been about 5 to 6 years old. No, it's been about 5 to 6 years in credit." Okay, so I think it probably cut you off, but I get what you're saying. New car. You know what? If you gotta get the car now, that's perfectly fine. Anything that you guys are buying right now, and it's not cash, be ready to refinance when these rates come down. So get whatever you want. Listen, my wife and I own a real estate brokerage. There are certain people who are tired of waiting for rates to drop. They got to move, or because of their landlord or their living situation, they don't have time to wait. So they just got to get it. They got to go right now. We totally get it. Here's the thing. You have to make sure that if that's what you're going to do, that you got to make sure you're in position to refinance as we get closer to November and beyond. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with buying what you want right now, but make sure that you're in position to refinance. Okay. Gabby says 10%. That's when we was talking about what's the most that you need to use. 10%. Okay. So Susan says Credit One made a logo similar to Capital One, so they get confused a lot. They do. They did it on purpose too. They know what they're doing. Credit One versus Capital One. And they send their stuff to the same people. So a lot of times people just forget, or it becomes unrecognized. That's been going on for quite some time as well. Inappropriate says, if your credit profile is filled with subprime products, will that affect approval for prime products even with the high score? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I've never seen that before, really, because I mean, at the end of the day, banks can see with a soft pull who you have on your credit report. I hope you guys know this. So if you guys are most of everybody is opted in. You know what? I think I talked about this a while back. Let me see here. I'm going to show you guys this. This is called opt out pre-screen. So now I know we don't talk about this often. I'm going to show you guys this. So let me share this tab right here. So if you guys go to this website, let me make this a little bit bigger because I think this is something that you guys need to know. Not everybody's always looking to get credit cards. Okay. So this is the site right here. This is called optoutprescreen.com. Let me see how this looks. Is that fitting on here? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Optoutprescreen.com. Okay. And in short, if this essentially opts you out of getting credit card offers. Did you guys know this? Everybody's automatically, if you are watching this, everybody's automatically opted in. Everybody on the planet is automatically opted in. This means this is when you guys get credit card offers in the mail, insurance offers in the mail, anything that says you've been pre-approved. This is how you stop that. You go to optoutprescreen.com and they will stop sending you stuff. It tells the companies to stop sending you stuff. Now, it doesn't last forever. I think you got to do this like every 3 years or something like that. But anyway, optoutprescreen.com. It's free. This is how you opt out, guys. This is how you opt out. Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people know about that. So, but anyway, that's if you guys don't want to keep getting like, credit card offers in the mail and stuff like that. Okay. So make sure you guys write that one down. Next. Okay. Hair to the throne. I most definitely appreciate the information you give, even after my credit rebuild stage and hitting the 800s across the board. I'm still learning and helping friends and family when I can. Absolutely, sir or ma'am. Greatly appreciate you being here. Ron says, the years since my last car loan, can this affect my interest rate for a new loan? I'm in New York, credit score mid 700s. No, you'll be fine. You can buy a car anytime. So, how long it's been since you've had a car? The year that you had that car? I mean, like they don't even look at that. But that's a very good question because I know some people think about that, but no, they really don't look. The only time banks really care about who you've been with is usually with mortgages. More like if you're applying for a mortgage and they look and they see on your credit report that other mortgage companies have ran your credit, you do have to do an LOE. That's the only time you have to explain something. A LOE is a letter of explanation. Now, all lenders may not trip on this, but most will. They want to know, why did you apply for the other place? And it could be something as simple as, I was just trying to see if I can get the best rate. It didn't work out with the mortgage loan officer or whatever, so whatever. But sometimes you do have to do a letter of explanation. But other than that, most of these credit companies or credit products, financial companies, banks, they won't have you explain what happened in the past in most cases. All right. Sled says time will heal credit. Once it's off your credit report, you can reapply to any credit card company that you messed up with. Absolutely. Gabby is talking that talk, man. Absolutely. All right. Succeeding in 2 says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Appreciate you being here. Risa says, yes. Then it says that is true. Then it says they are being sneaky. Absolutely. Succeeding in 2 says, I think banks do look at subprime. Having bigger banks and higher limits are better. Now, I get what you're saying. You know what? I think they can obviously see it, but I don't know if it affects it. I don't know if they look at it from a bank to bank standpoint. Like if Chase says, they would Capital One, let's get them this limit. It's more so, they have a credit card. What's the limit on this? What's the balance on this? And based on this, we'll give them this. So I'll go that far to say that part. All right. I do believe that. And then Sled says, believe it or not. Now, mind you, Sledge is a guy that has 35 plus credit cards. Sled says, believe it or not, Credit One had that logo 2 years before Capital One. Wow. So Sled says the other way around. That's what's up. Then it says, good preaching. Okay, that's Gabby up there. Y Skinner says, Man Cave, can you explain a soft pull in your credit? Sure. So this kind of ties into what I just showed you guys, the opt-out pre-screen. So a soft pull is when someone looks at your credit and your credit report without your consent. This right here that's what you call a soft pull. Now, opt-out does not mean that anyone cannot do a soft pull. You can initiate a soft pull, and companies still can initiate a soft pull, but they just won't send you anything in the mail for the offer. Like they'll know that they'll do this. They can still do the soft pull, but without your consent, it won't affect your credit score, but they won't be able to send you the offer, if that makes sense. That's if you go through opt-out pre-screen. But if you go, let's say, through a credit card company and you do a soft pull is anything that typically says apply without affecting your credit score. Soft pulls are trending heavy right now. Okay, because they know that people just want to see if they can get approved or not, and then make the decision to move forward. They just want to see if they or like when you're refinancing an auto loan, you can see the terms and conditions before you make the commitment with the soft pull. Not everyone does this though, and again, there's no impact on your credit score. Okay, a hard pull is the opposite, and there's an impact on your credit score. That's the short version. This is usually when you're about to move forward. Okay, this usually also happens after the soft pull if you decide to move forward. All right. So if you're at the dealership, hard pull. You talk to a mortgage lender, hard pull. You're trying to get an apartment, hard pull. Right. So that's what's going to happen in most cases. Okay. But you can also do a lot of soft pulls prior to, but it depends on where you are. So make sure you all read about that. Make sure you know before you move forward if it's a soft or hard. Okay. Vicky says, I want good credit. I want good credit. Can someone help? Absolutely. Join our community and we can help you right away. When you join our community, you get instant access to my advanced credit blueprint. On average, my clients are averaging about 20 to 25 point increase with the advanced credit blueprint, okay? Or you just get the blueprint by itself, all right? So you guys can see it right there in the shop area or whatever. It's up to you. But if you join the community, you get instant access to all of the courses, all right? Blue Butterfly question: does freezing your credit opt you out of pre-approval mailings? Very good question. Very good question. It's tough to. I don't think so. So a freeze keeps someone from doing a hard pull. A freeze keeps someone from doing a hard pull. You have to unfreeze it. But a soft pull, I don't know, because they don't need the social for a soft pull. They need a 5-liner, as we call it. Really not even a 5-liner, probably like a 4-liner. That's what we call it: first name, last name, address, phone number, or date of birth, or email. You can fill those in, but no socials needed. And sometimes a date of birth is not needed either. But if it's a freeze, that's a very good question. I don't know if I've seen that before. That's a very good question, but it won't stop it though. So like a freeze keeps someone from doing a hard pull. But doing as far as like a soft pull, I don't think you really can like just stop that necessarily, but you can at least opt out from getting the offers. Someone doing a soft pull is that's fine, but it's because it's not an effect on you anyway. And you guys can actually see this stuff too. At the bottom of your credit report, it shows you everyone that looks at your credit. Okay. So not every company looks at your stuff every single day. So just keep that in mind too. Okay. Ron says, thanks for the useful info, Cal. Oh, absolutely. Listen, man. Oh, yeah. You know what? I got to start doing a lot of I have to redo a lot of the old videos that I've done over the years, because some people think that, you know how like YouTube is. People will see a video and they'll see this like 7 years old and they're like, oh, that's too old. I totally get it. And some of this stuff, but some of this information has not changed, guys. Like when I talked about utilization, soft pulls, hard pulls, that information has been the same for years. So a lot of these videos need to be remade. So I'm most definitely do a lot of these videos, from the beginning days, because that information is still valid to this day. Okay. Let's see here. Grinder says, so I have no choice but to get another car because it was broken into, and the insurance can be considered a total loss. Wow, they broke into it like that. But I've never missed a payment for over 2 years. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, Grinding. Listen, you'll be fine. Get the car, do what you need to do, because you obviously got to get around, right? And then of course but we got to make sure you're in position when it's time to refinance. Okay, so that's for everybody that's watching this. If you need to get anything that's credit related, get it now. That's fine, but don't forget, you are better than what the rates are right now. Just because the rates are what they are right now, you do understand these are abnormal interest rates. If a lot of people just go with the flow, they don't even pay attention to stuff. These are abnormal interest rates. That doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it's going to be coming down. But if you got to get something now, that's perfectly fine. But make sure we're in position to refinance. We do not hang on to high interest rates. And not in this group. Anybody that watches my channel know that. We do not hang on to high interest rates. Okay. When these rates come down, I will let you know when it's time to refinance. I promise you. I will let you know when it's time to refinance. I guarantee you this. Okay. Because it's going to be coming soon. Everybody's gonna be talking about it too. It won't just be me. Trust me on that one. Because more so the mortgage industry. Everybody else, the auto industry too. The auto industry as well. But everybody's gonna be talking about it for sure. All right. Succeeding in 2 says, I worked in the banking. They will take you serious when you have a serious financial relationships oftentimes, right? So again, using their products, paying people on time, getting multiple products with them, right? Again, those are basic things we got to keep doing, guys. Inappropriate says, do a 1099 cancellation of debt mean that you no longer owe the creditor? Absolutely. Absolutely. But they only do that when they like with repossessions, sometimes with credit card debts. I've seen people do it with maybe some short sales on mortgages, like some foreclosures, sometimes like that. But essentially, they forgive the debt. And how you know that it's forgiving the debt, and it's the reason why they send you that, because they want you to add that as income. So they say, listen, we're going to take a loss on this, but you got to add this as income and pay tax on that. Okay, that's fair. Because now they say, hey, this is an expense. At first, we let you borrow the money, but now it's an expense. We're pretty much paying you because you use money. I just want to break that down so everybody has an idea. All right. So great information on that. But yeah, Shalom says it does not it doesn't opt you out. Absolutely. Refinance later. Absolutely. Shalom is in the house. Gabby says, they don't need your permission to do a soft pull on a credit card. Company does this every 90 days to determine if you are a risk or increase your credit. Absolutely. 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 All right. And then Risa said, what is Self? So Self is a credit builder. It was one of the first credit builders to start going national. Before Self, a lot of banks were doing secured loans, and they were doing a reverse secured loan, as I like to say. A reverse secured loan is essentially when they give you the money, and then you pay them back, and then they report that to your credit report. But they were disguising it as a credit builder loan, so people were getting it because technically, if you get something and make payments on time, then yes, it will build your credit. However, in my opinion, if you guys watch, I got an old video and it was like, do not get a credit builder account from a bank. Okay. Because those were loans versus Self. You pay the money into it and then you get the money once everything is received. Way better situation. And that's a secured CD, really. It's a secure certificate of deposit. Banks have had these products for years, but it was never borrowed money. And so really Self was one of the first ones to say, hey, listen, we need to have essentially a credit builder alternative. And then after that, credit builders start popping up out of nowhere. So, but I will say only get Self if you're like under 700, under 650. You don't have to get it if you don't want to, because there's a lot of ways. And see, this is why, again, I don't want to just tell you guys to get like certain accounts because everyone's situation is a little different. You know, so some of you all shouldn't get everything you hear, and some of y'all need to get some stuff. So everybody's situation is a little bit different. All right. Gabby says they don't need typo. Okay. She says, right, that don't need your. Yep. We got you. Don't worry. We got you. All right. And then that's Self credit. Yep. We good. And then Self says rid of Self as a credit builder. Oh, okay. There you go. Used it. My credit score went up 80 points. Then I applied for 2 major credit cards and got them with pretty good limits. All right. And so, by the way, I'm gonna put some credit builders inside of the chats. Okay. So if you guys are looking for those, so these are the top 4 credit builders. Okay. Top 4 credit builders. Do not get these if your credit score is over. I mean, you technically can get them with any credit score, but I wouldn't get them if you're over 800. Technically you still can get one. But again, this is if you just want some more points. Okay, guys. But again, this is not for everybody. I don't want everything to make it sound like it's general, but I really need to know your situation. If you guys, like I mentioned to you guys before, where's it at right here? If you want a custom game plan where I look at your credit report and you tell me what your goal is, I will tell you exactly what you need to do. Over the weekend, we have 5 people order a game plan. Okay, just over the weekend. Today's Sunday, so this was Friday to Saturday. We got 5 people nationwide that want a game plan. Okay, they got goals they're trying to attack. We can help you. Scan that QR code. Okay, we can show. And with that game plan, you guys see here. Let me zoom in. Can I zoom in on this? Look at this. She wanted to buy a house for her and her son. She was tired of paying rent. She was a 400 credit score. She's now in the 700s. You know what I did for her? I looked at her credit report. She told me her goals. I told her exactly what she needed to do. That was what the game plan. Custom game plan. Listen, veterans. I know y'all on here. Veterans, where my vets at? Let me know in the comments. My veterans, where y'all at? This man right here, veteran. What good is our VA benefits if you all don't qualify? What good is your VA benefits if you don't qualify? He's a disabled veteran. Let me break something down because y'all not hearing me. Let me break something down. Some of you all that are watching this are veterans. Some of you all know veterans that do not have the credit scores they need to take advantage. Let me look into the camera. To take advantage of the benefits that you deserve. These are benefits you put your life on the line for. And some of you all have put your life on the line for a lot of this type of stuff. We appreciate our veterans. Let me start off by saying that. You deserve all the benefits that are coming to you that normal Americans do not have access to. He's a disabled military veteran. He does not have to pay property taxes. Are y'all hearing me? He does not. He is property tax exempt, I think, for life. He also gets a 0 down mortgage for life on the property that he lives in for him and his family. He did not have the credit scores needed to take advantage of any of those benefits. You know what he did? He told me his situation. He went to college with someone that another guy that I made a custom game plan for. I was at a church. I was speaking at this church, and oh my God, the line was wrapped around, like I was on stage. The line was like wrapped around. It was wrapped in a way where it was too many people waiting to talk to me. So they moved me to the basement. They gave me my own room in the basement. The line was coming from the basement all the way through the back door of the church. Insane. Because of one of the stories that one of my other clients had mentioned. Guys, I've been doing this for years. By the way, this is well before 100,000 subscribers. Matter of fact, that happened when I was at like 20,000 subscribers. But anyway, he went to college with him. He told him what was going on. And he says, bro, I need your help. I'm a veteran and I can't take advantage of none of this stuff that they offering me. I said, I got you, bro. I need to look at your credit report. He's a homeowner. Listen, I would show y'all his house, but we ain't gonna do that right. We ain't gonna do that today. We're gonna do that today. Listen, I'm gonna do one more story. Y'all got time for one more story? We're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more. Y'all ain't heard this one. This is my girl, Erica. Erica, she wanted to be a landlord. She told me her goals. I saw her credit report. She says, Calvin, this is embarrassing. I said, Erica, listen, chill. It's not, listen, I've seen everything before. There's nothing I haven't seen. She says, Calvin, you tell me, listen, if you tell me what I need to do, it's done. I told her exactly what she needed to do. She became one of the youngest landlords in the state of Illinois. All right. She's now a landlord. All right. So again, all you got to do, scan that QR code. I need to look at your credit report. I'm not trying to sell you guys on anything. The free videos will never stop. I want to be clear. The free videos will never. This may not be for you. Let me tell you guys something. I may not need to look at your credit report, but there's someone that of somebody's credit report, they have a goal they're trying to accomplish. I'm just letting you know that the service exists, but I don't want to say I'm selling y'all nothing. So we're gonna move on. All right, we're gonna move on. Next. All right, let's keep going. All right, we're gonna wrap up, guys. It's been an hour. It has been an hour. We're finna get up off of here, okay? But anyway, inappropriate says, isn't self considered a consumer finance, and does it hold your score back as long as it's on your profile? Not at all. You good. I will say this though, when it's the way that it looks on your credit report, the only people that don't really like it is mortgage companies. You don't get denied though. Like it's still, I won't say that they don't like it. It looks like you're borrowing money. So that's what inappropriate is essentially saying. It looks like you're borrowing money, but you're borrowing it from yourself. But again, if your scores are in the sixes or whatever the case may be, you're going to be good anyway. And so it's more so how it looks. It looks a little weird on the credit report. In my personal opinion, I think they need to change it again. I personally think they need to change it again because what they do is they put the full amount on there and it makes it look like it just looks weird. It looks like you're borrowing the money, but you're borrowing it from yourself, and really it's a savings account. So I don't like how it looks. If anything, I think that the balance should be what you paid into it. I think that's what it should be. So like if a person's made 5 payments of $25, it should look like $125, not $1,000 that I'm owing. It looks a little different, but it doesn't affect anything at all. Banks know what this is now, so you'll be perfectly fine. Succeeding in 2 says, that's true. You are so right. Each person's situation is different. Like you said, no one size fits all. Absolutely. Denise says, I'm still stuck on thinking about doing a cash out refinance on my VA loan, but I bought another house a couple of months ago. Will this hurt me? No, it won't hurt you at all. I mean, anytime you get an account, here, I want to be clear on this too, guys. The whole point of having a good credit in general is someone's going to have to take a look at it. So we already kind of know that part. My point in saying that is, anytime you add an account to your credit report, no matter what it is, you will see a slight drop at the very beginning. But outside of that, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I won't worry about that at all. Do what's going to be work best for you, Denise, and we're always here for you. All right. So where to see actual credit score? What's the difference between credit score and Vantage? I did a video on this. FICO versus Credit Karma. So go ahead and check that one out for a deeper explanation. But the short version is more banks are using 90% of financial institutions make their decisions based on using the FICO score. However, VantageScore is most definitely is already been approved. I got people in that video. I said banks that's gonna start taking these Credit Karma scores. People didn't believe me. It's all good. I just know that I'm the first one to tell y'all this information. But I'm telling you, more banks are going to start taking VantageScores. But for right now, mortgage companies are still testing it out. Okay. But as for right now, everybody's kind of still using FICO. So keep that in mind. All right. But what's the difference? Just the short version is two different algorithms. So one is McDonald's, FICO's McDonald's, VantageScore's Burger King. I'm not saying quality of meat. We're not going into what's healthy, what's not. We're not doing all that. We're just saying which one's more popular, which one's less popular. There you go. All right. But they most definitely are two different algorithms. But you want like a deeper explanation. I don't want to keep everybody on a video. That'd be a whole nother video. But that's another. I did a video recently. Just type in Credit Karma and you'll see the full explanation. And I break down the charts. I break down the scoring, what makes both scores move. So most definitely check out that video. Okay. I would just do a Navy Federal secured. It's nothing wrong with that. So here's the deal. This is also succeeding into. This is for people that want to get into Navy Federal. So not everyone has access to Navy Federal. Okay. So we got to keep that in mind. And not everybody wants to go with Navy Federal. I don't know. Some people got mixed feelings now about Navy Fed. I think Navy Fed is still a great bank. A lot of stuff going on. But what bank ain't got nothing going on? I think because Navy Fed has just been in the news back to back. And see, Navy Fed, in my personal opinion, was the golden child. They could do no wrong. And ever since that CNN interview, they just been like laying them out. But banks are so used to being in the news. Chase Bank is always in the news. So saying that to say, I think that's why people are feeling the way that they feel. But either way, another thing too, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, you can go with a secured credit card, but some people are paying too much money for a secured credit card. We're gonna talk about that later on this week too. Some secured credit cards as well. I don't want to go too deep into this one today. But what you all use on that and what you guys spend on these secure credit cards is too much. You should not be spending no more than $200 for a secure credit card. We are not in the 1990s anymore. We are not in the 2000s anymore. We have options, okay? But there's nothing wrong with getting a secure credit card, but make sure you guys get the right one. I did a video on that recently too, but I'll do another one soon. Risa says active duty. That's right. Okay, Risa's active duty. We appreciate you being here. Listen, especially active, okay? That means Risa got to be on guard. So we greatly appreciate your service, especially in times like right now. Captain Al says, combat vet, we greatly appreciate your time served as well. Shalom says, I bought my credit score up 100 points in a month and my credit was terrible and it tanked. Listen, I'm telling you guys, get the information. Whether it's from me, whether it's from another YouTube channel, whether you're studying it, get the information, okay? So CDN2 says, great question. You work for those benefits. Absolutely. Absolutely. Judy says, my credit score is good. I'll work on your program. It is great to help us all. Thank you. I'll continue to follow your page. God bless you. And I'll see your page. Thank you so much, Judy. Appreciate you being here. Shalom says, credit shouldn't apply for military. You know, you're right about that. You're right about that. Is that it shouldn't, you know what? It's tough because people that are in the military still have to, but the benefits are there. But at the same time, listen, well, what y'all put on the line, most definitely should play a role. I think y'all should be at most definitely 0%, things of that sort. So, but we still got to get in position to take advantage of what is out there. All right. Denise says, I'm a veteran. Let's go. Appreciate you, Denise. Greatly appreciate it as well. So CDN2 says they still need, and you need to pay the money back. Yep. We talked about that. Yep. I agree. But for what they do, they go through, they need more benefits. Absolutely. Then it says, I say good preaching this morning, sir. Greatly appreciate you being here. Gabby says, yes, go for it. Shalom says, credit is super easy. You can literally read everything he's saying. Absolutely. Okay. Listen, I've been trying. Listen, greatly appreciate you being here, Shalom. Every now and then we get people that see what we're doing out here. And sometimes you guys hear from previous clients, current clients, things of that sort. Listen, guys, we've helped you all do this stuff. But Shalom says people don't believe until they see the results. I be telling people all the time how to do this stuff, right? And again, a lot of this stuff is already here, right? We talk about this stuff every day, right? Denise says, thanks, Calvin. I'm going to sign up right now for you to do a one-on-one with me. Greatly appreciate it as well. Stuff going on with all of them. You better believe it. For real, there is no perfect bank. Absolutely. And Cecilian Tuesday, I was speaking of a secured loan with no hard pull. Absolutely. Now that makes sense. I get what you're saying. Right. So like a pledge loan with Navy Federal. Absolutely. You guys can even do this with your bank. A lot of banks still offer secured certificate of deposits that help you build your credit, not just a regular personal loan. specifically to help you build your credit. But a lot of banks have kind of stepped back from this. I don't know why though. Okay. So Season2 says, we appreciate you. Greatly appreciate it. Tony AFX says, there's a storm vet here. Greatly appreciate your service. Been a Navy Federal member for 30 plus years, and he has never had a problem with them as well. Greatly appreciate that. Judy says, thank you all for your service. Listen, we greatly appreciate you all for your service as well, especially in times like this. We don't know how stuff is going to turn itself out, but I know for a fact that we got some of the best veterans here in the United States of America. And not trying to go into politics or anything like that, but, I think that sometimes we kind of take our minds off of it, but we greatly appreciate you all because, I mean, somebody has to do it, like for real, so we greatly appreciate you all. And any way we can help, just let us know. All right. And Grinding for the Bad says, yep, I went with Navy Federal app. They told me I was pre-approved for a secure card, but when I actually applied and called, they approved me for $500 more rewards. So look at how that turned out. Great job, sir. We greatly appreciate that as well. All right, guys, we are out of here. I gave y'all everything I had today. We went over an hour today, but you know what? Listen, the comments, the questions, we need that. We need dialogue. Social media has changed how we communicate. Let's be real. We don't just be on the phone for hours anymore. It's things are now turning into situations like this. We need to be more vocal. We need to talk to each other more. I know we don't know each other, but that don't mean nothing. We all have, most of us on here have good hearts. We have good souls. We just want to see people win. I just want to see y'all win. I want to be around winners. I want to be around people that are goal oriented, that are doing something, that want to help people, because that needs to be where I'm at. So when you guys are in the comments, I need that energy. All right. Just letting y'all know. Appreciate that. All right. So yes, sir. Grinding says, where do I join the community? And Risa says, but I need to join the 850 club soon. I got you. All right. So here, to join the community, guys, I'm going to put the link inside of and this is a private community. This is not a public community, by the way. I put that inside the chat. Make sure you guys go and check that out. I put the link inside the description below. And if you're still here watching the video, you guys can scan that QR code